Hey everybody, welcome back to another Slime Fun Tips and Tricks episode with your host Boomer. Today, we're here to talk about probably the most misunderstood piece of equipment in all of Slime Fun, and that's the Macerator. I get questions on this and people don't have a clue, and until very recently, neither did I. I had to look up what a Macerator actually was. I mean, I knew it somewhat functioned like an ore grinder. But if you were just to look this thing up in a guide, there's no clue what it does, right? You look it up in a search, it's part of light expansion, and that's it. So you really have to do some work. So when you get something like this in a guide, the first thing I'm going to tell you is go to Google, look up to see what is the name of the machine, because the odds are it's probably from another plugin or there's some real-life world machine that exists that relates to this, in this case, the Macerator. So looking it up, it's very similar to an ore grinder. So I went online into the code and actually looked through it to see what does this do. And it is very similar to an ore grinder. So let's kind of look at it. It's got a very simple setup. This tells you something. Just by looking at this, something goes in, something comes out. And in looking at the code, there were a few things that were actually pretty insightful here. So for a second, let's look at the blaze rod. Let's stick a blaze rod in there, right? Blaze rod gives us blade powder. Normally, if you put it in your own crafting bench, you get 2 blaze powder. Well, in a Macerator, you get 5. Advantage 1 Macerator, right? 5 blaze powder out of a rod. So that could be very helpful in crafting eye vendors and cutting your costs down quite a bit. What else do you think this might be used for? So some other things that were in here were coal blocks to coal dust, no big deal. Redstone block to 9 redstone. Here's one that actually interested me. How many of you have ever built some massive quartz building and had a bunch of stairs left over and you didn't know what to do with them, right? You stuck them in a chest or you just threw them away and let them despawn. No more. Take them back. You get not just 1, you get 6. 6 quartz per stair. That's a lot of comparators you're making. Or you take 6, that gives you a block and a half of quartz back. You get your money's worth back. There's reason number 2 to build this thing and put this in your world. And it doesn't take all that long. Look how fast you're getting this. And if you're playing Slime Fun, man, that's valuable stuff. That's silicon, right? You need silicon for everything. So there's number 2, and it doesn't take that long. I think it's like 5 seconds. All right, anything else? I wonder what else this could do. Here was one thing that caught my eye. Cobblestone into, get this, you ready? Sand. We were talking in a Discord, a lot of people have been talking about should the legacy setting be removed or not, because you can already go from cobblestone to gravel to sand instead of 8 cobble to 1 sand. Why waste all that extra resource? Go 1 to 1. Well, here the Macerator does it for you automatically. We don't even need, we can remove that setting. The legacy ore grinder setting can get completely removed out of the game. I mean, I think it really should be anyways, simply because there's too many new ways, and we've got another way to go right from cobble to sand. So there's 3 reasons why you might want a Macerator on your base. You can decompile glowstone back into 4 dust, gravel into flint like we don't already have. Here's a really cool one that I never would have thought of. Ice. If you happen to have a bunch of ice left over, what do you think this is going to craft into? You got it. Snowballs. 2 snowballs per ice. I thought another really cool feature to add. You can decompile sandstone in the sand. Now, you do only get 1 sand back, but it's still better than nothing. And here's another one that I thought was pretty cool. Let's do this. You know how we can take wool or string into wool? Well, now you can take wool back into string. You've got a massive sheep farm and you need to make a lot of dispensers. 4, count them, that's right, 4 string per wool. Who the heck needs a spider farm? All you need is a sheep farm and you've got it covered. Is there anything else in here that might be of interest? And actually there is. As I was scrolling down the list, I found a few others. Granite into gravel, andesite diorite into gravel. And then I came across lapis dust, redstone dust, thinking it was rugged or redstone. But then I hit diamond dust, emerald dust, quartz dust. And I'm like, dust what? So I put some diamond ore in here. And it started to macerate it. And I got 2 diamond dust. And I'm still looking at this going, you know what? Try for an admin, do SF give player name diamond dust. It doesn't show up. It's nowhere in the guide. It doesn't show up in any of the plugins. I can't find it anywhere. I've reached out to the dev to get some insight, hopefully into what this might be. But I did finally figure out how you can use it. Because my thought was, well, you can also do this with iron and gold. It will give you, iron at least will give you slime fun, the gold dust that you're used to, or iron dust. So I stuck it, well, let's put it in a smeltery. Let's see what happens. And within 5 seconds here, we've got diamonds. So it's essentially the same thing as having looting 3, right? Because on an average, you're going to get 2 diamonds anyways. So not bad. It does give you that. If you don't have looting, it's another way, just like the ore grinder, it's another way to increase your output on ores. So we got probably 7 or 8 really good reasons you'd want to use a macerator. Now that you know what it is, now that you know what it does, it doesn't take too long to craft it. Let's just take a quick look at it. 3 flint, 2 cobble, 1 electronic circuit, so 2 redstone dust, refined iron, and some copper cable. So you need rubber and some copper to work its way back down here. It's this one, it's more grindy. It's just layered upon layer. Takes a little bit longer to get there, but once you've got there, it's not that bad. Refined iron is simply iron through a metal forge, if I remember correctly. Oh, refined smeltery, excuse me. So it's not costly at all to make. And it yields some pretty decent things that we don't have in Core Slime Fun or in any other add-on. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, guys. Hopefully it's going to help you go build your macerators. But as always, when you're playing Minecraft, don't forget to go boomer or go home. We'll see you later.